New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Welcome to Ministers Talking a weekly program where Rev Briz and Rev Z and their guests chat about current affairs, world events, spiritual principles, and any old they want to talk about. Based on the New Thought philosophy and ancient wisdoms, Ministers Talking shares a visionary perspective of the evolving spiral called spiritual living. Join us each week as we explore the emerging paradigm of life on planet Earth and beyond.
And hello again, dear ones. Dr. Robert with you over here.
Rev Z right here.
And this is Ministers Talking Shit for Friday, July 19th, 2024. And well, I should be saying it's 7 o'clock on the Mountain Time Zone because that's what I normally say. But I'm all screwed up because I'm on the Central Time Zone and it's not 7 o'clock here.
Oh my God! But what a day! I mean, everything is top. You know, they used to have it at schools, these opposite days and inside out days. They have kids wear their clothes inside out, or they wear opposite kinds of colors or whatever.
Yep.
That's what we're experiencing globally today.
Exactly. So, if you are with us and you're able to see this, congratulations. It means you're not affected. And somehow I didn't even know about it till after I turned my computer on this morning. So I guess I got lucky that none of my stuff was affected. But tell people a little bit about what's going on, Z.
Yeah, well, there's a global cloud strike event that's happening, and it's taking various forms, if you will. Like some people woke up and got blue screen. Some people woke up and their PCs may just be in a perpetual reboot mode. If you're working at a job where you're dependent on logging into a application or accessing a database or any of that kind of stuff, catch as catch can, you may or may not get in. And basically, technology is in a inside out day, opposite day. It's you try it. If it works, you say yay. If you try it and it don't work, you say dang nabbit. And so it's going to be interesting.
It sounds like it's kind of like a skip day. If you decide to skip, okay, you can blame it on the world, on the global outage. And if you decide not to skip, well, you might just be sitting in front of a dead brick of a machine all day.
Yeah. And so, if you're there with us today, bear with us because who knows? We might drop out at some point. They don't have a handle yet on what's going on. They say they have a fix, right? But that's what you have to say at this level, where it's affecting airlines, it's affecting, emergency systems. So you don't want to create panic by saying we have no idea what's going on. Hold tight, we'll get back with you.
Right. And they have said that it has been reported that this is not an attack. This is not a cyber attack. This is not some solar flare knocking out the internet. This is a something broke.
Oops.
They say they know what it is, but something broke. It's what happened.
Yeah. Oopsies. That's the best way to describe it, as oopsies.
I'm sure there's somebody saying, "You mean you didn't test that before you released it? Wait a minute." No,
Yeah,
boss,
man. It is.
you told me we was good. Just go ahead and send it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there was some kind of update, and that did it. So
Right.
so maybe somebody even, and we don't know if it's as a result of uh testing, or not enough test, and having worked in the IT field for a very, very, very long time. I'm not going to tell you how long. uh and I'll just say this. I was a test conductor for a couple of launches of the space shuttle, where you test everything from the bathrooms to the main engine, but no matter what it is, you never get it all, because there's always those situations that you can only test what you think of, right? And you can't think of everything. And there goes oopsies.
There goes.
You just hope your test application is not mission critical or life critical, so that oopsies causes some real bad situations. And so I'm sure they have the technicians working around the clock. Is all hands on deck right now, and we know they're going to get it. Just to, watch the clock. It's ticking. You don't know when, but keep your eye on it.
Yes. All right. The word of the day, folks. Whoopsies.
Yeah, oopsies.
Oopsies. And if you have internet access and your systems are working great, if you want to take the day off and blame it on the global problem, go for it. I won't tell your boss, I promise. Unless, of course, you work for me, and then get back to work. So, all right, let's get into some bigger news, or not. I don't even know. I think that might be the biggest news of the week.
Yes.
And it's we haven't had a chance to chat together about the failed assassination attempt. Last night was the RNC, and Kid Rock was rocking it out on behalf of Donald Trump. And I didn't watch it, I'll be straight up, but I've heard reports, or I've seen reports, that it was a subdued Donald Trump calling for unity in America, which seems pretty crazy if you watch all the rest of the speakers at the RNC. Not one of them was calling for unity. They were calling.
Yeah, and that only lasts for a few minutes. Then he went right back to his usual. Let's crazy Pelosi and this, that, and the other. I fell asleep on it. It was just too much for me. I'm like, oh God. And granted, I'm sure something has changed, right? You can't go through that kind of experience where literally he was inches away from death. But if it's a lasting change, if it's a momentary change, or the change could be you double down on your current position, because you are so committed to that position that, heck, I might not be here to push it, so I'm going to go deeper. So, I mean, time will tell as to if he really had, as he said like 3 or 4 times in his speech, God was looking out for him. It was a divine moment, and so forth. So the question will be, how do you translate that into your life? And how do you begin to be thankful and grateful on a larger scale, just to say I'm still here, in the way you go about doing business. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty interesting that he didn't go to church the next day. He went to play golf.
Well, that's his church, I reckon.
I guess it's got to be.
Yeah, he's out in nature, the birds, the grass, the trees. He's in a sanctuary of sorts. So I'll give him that. Now the thing is, as a lot of people says, he start filling out his card before he gets to the hole. So now that's the real thing. Does he really hit now and score that way?
So skipping church is okay, but cheating on your golf score is a whole other story.
Another story.
Yes, I'm with you there. You're not allowed to cheat on your golf score. I love
Too
it.
much riding on that score.
Exactly. And here I've been at a conference all week, folks, and spending time with a whole bunch of let's say really super spiritual type folks and people that their entire lives are invested in how we move the New Thought message forward, and we didn't talk a lot this week about politics. We kind of talked a little bit about the fact that maybe we should do more than just talk about it. But we didn't talk an awful lot about it. And so it's interesting. I did hear at least more than a few people, however, share stories that they turned on the news, but couldn't make it more than a few minutes. And I imagine, and having tuned out of the news this past week, I can only imagine it's been filled with tons of speculation around the assassination attempt, tons of speculation around what's going to happen, what would happen at the RNC. Donald Trump did announce a running mate, J.D. Vance, which seems to be a very, very interesting character in his own right, and actually seems to be the puppet of a multi-billionaire, but it's kind of been a weird week for the news, but in many ways it's the same old kind of stuff that causes people to tune out and not really be involved. And I'm afraid that
Not a time to tune out.
I know. But it seems like that's what's happening, right? People would rather tune out than actually have to face the reality of a second Trump presidency.
And it hasn't been tomorrow is a week. I guess today would be a full week, right, since the assassination attempt.
Right. It's last Saturday.
Right, because it happened last Saturday.
Yep.
And so when you look at, I watched a little bit of the convention, and they paraded, the typical people. They had several African Americans up there who were from West Point, military combat, Apache helicopter kind of folk. They had a couple of common folk. They had Amber Rose, who was a celebrity of sorts. Then they bring out J.D. Vance, who's a darling. I mean, his story is a darling story. I mean, you come from poverty, mother addicted, raised by his grandparents. At 19, joins the military, joins the Marines, comes back, goes to Ohio State. Then he goes to Yale Law School. He meets his wife, who's East Indian. She clerked for Brett Kavanaugh. She clerked for Roberts. So they have the perfect little, he's got a BIPOC wife. He's come up through the ranks, so to speak, and he's young. The dude will be 40 the first week of August or something like that. So they have the Republicans have put themselves in a position to really do some long vision. And now with the assassination attempt and the sympathy and all of that, it's going to, for those who don't trust his policies and his people, we got to get out. If you don't want that, you got to come up with some voting, and not, you got to get out. You got to tell people. You got to begin to tell a story that will flip that script, or it'll be something that you don't expect come November.
Yeah, exactly. And then come January of next year, freedom shuts down.
It's just going to be, it's challenging.
It is. However, there is something we can do about it, folks, and you know how we love to be able to say we could do something about it. Number one, vote. Number two, create a plan to vote. Number three, get some friends and make sure they vote. Number four, help other people you don't know vote. But on top of it all, what we talk about all the time is raise the consciousness. And in the last few days, a dear friend of ours who was on our other program, New Thought Today, not long ago, we had an interview with Reverend Dr. David Alexander. And over the week, he has announced a new program. And I'm going to bring that up on the screen here. Here it is, folks. Beginning July 28th, not that long away, just a little over a week away, for 100 days of mindfulness practice. Tune out the fear, tune in the vision. A number of New Thought leaders from around the movement and crossing over the old denominational lines, if you will. People are coming together to provide a no more than 3-minute recorded phone call. So what happens is you'll get a recorded phone call every day for 100 days from a variety, as I said, of New Thought leaders. I think there's 50 of us or so. You'll hear my voice in that mix as well. And all you've got to do to join is text the word join to 470-784-0250. That's 470-784-0250. Go ahead and text the word join to that text number, and you'll get an automated text back. And then they have your phone number, and they will send you the daily message starting on the 28th. It starts with Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith will be the very first person to share. I saw that on the scheduling sheet. So, or you can visit myelectionintention.com. myelectionintention.com. You can tune in there and sign up as well. 100 days of mindfulness practice. Z, I said it as I started this. We talk about things like this quite a bit, but here we are. We have an opportunity to raise the consciousness in a collective action, a nonviolent collective action that can transcend the old lines of denominationalism and New Thought, that can transcend our differences in belief and unite us in creating an energetic vibration of peace and harmony, and knowing that no matter what the outcome, the result is moving us forward as a people.
Yeah, well, and the one thing you spark in my mind right now, there's a word that's been demonized over the past year or so, and that is woke, right? and right now is the time that you need to be woke. You do not need to be asleep at the wheel. You do not need to be caught in la la land. You need to be awake. You need to be alert, and you need to be attentive. The 3 A's. You got AAA right there. Like if you're driving your car and your car breaks down, you call AAA. Well, the car is broke down right now, and we need AAA. Awake, aware, and attentive to what's going on, because we are ripe as a country for some monumental changes, and we need to become active in some practices that are global, that are trans-denominational, that are trans-political affiliation, that's trans everything. Because I mean, let's just take this global cloud strike issue as a small issue. I mean, if anyone has studied anything about guerrilla warfare, right? Guerrilla warfare, I want to be clear, this cloud strike has nothing to do with any kind of attacks or anything like that. But we know from these hackers, which is a basically guerrilla kind of warfare, they're behind the scenes, small units, that could cripple this whole globe. If somebody,
Right.
knocked out a few satellites or poisoned some water supplies, or and I'm trusting that we have the wherewithal for that not to take place, but we have to be vigilant and aware that it is possible. And I don't know if it doesn't appear. I mean, we got the Olympics 2 days before we go into the 100-day practice. The Olympics start, right? People are already moving into the Olympic Village, right? We got about
Yep.
7 days, I guess, before the Olympics start.
Something like that.
Which is a great opportunity for us to look at, this is the time for competition, but it's physical competition in terms of athletic pursuits and mental acuity and those kind. Let's do that kind of stuff. Not bombing, not okay. Let's get the presidents to run a 100-yard dash when they got an issue, and whoever wins their 100-yard dash, 100 meters now. I guess it ain't 100 yards no more. I'm dating myself. That way we know, that's who wins that argument. I have somebody throw the shot put. Whoever gets the furthest, they're the winner of that one.
You make me laugh because I could just imagine Trump and Biden in a foot race. That's gonna be, and then maybe we throw him in a video game. Let him play GTA for a half an hour, see who's doing better or something like that to help decide who's got the mental and physical acuity for the job.
We'll save a lot of lives, a lot of money, a lot of arguments. Well, so and so won the race. That was the ruling. So let's go with it.
That's how we do it. Well, and I all fun and games aside, folks. I'm really clear. Every time, every 4 years, we say it's the most important election of our lifetime. Every 4 years, people talk about we got to get out the vote more now than ever. That this is the election that determines it all. That changes everything. And this is the first time I believe that. This is the first time it really feels like it's not the old lesser of two evils. It's not the old which white guy will be a little bit better for me. And this time it feels like we are on the precipice. We are at the nexus of a wholesale change. And if we really look at what's coming through on Project 2025, they have plans from day one to just start removing things and stripping things away, and America could look like a much, much different nation by the early, late winter, early spring of next year. And I want to make sure that everybody is fully aware participation is not voluntary this time around. It's not a choice to be involved or not this time around. This time around, everybody must be involved. And I really want to see the highest turnout, the highest voter turnout ever in this next election. And if it turns out that, somebody I don't like wins, well, we're going to have to learn to live with that. But I really believe we're moving. People, there are those that would love to have us believe we're going down the wrong road. I don't believe that. I believe there's something much bigger at play here. And I believe that the outcome of this election will be a demonstration of our true unity, not just we're going to talk about unity and go right back to our everyday attacking and vitriol and making everybody else the bad guy.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I don't want to keep harping on this global outage, right? But right now, and this and again, this is not, as it's been indicated, this is not a malicious attack, right? This is just, normal business, if you will. Things happen. But right now, banking is disrupted. Airlines are disrupted. You know, accessing your PC is disrupted. So this just gives us an indication that we've created a situation that we are no longer fully in control of, that we are in control the way we thought we were, right? And so now this should be another wake-up call. We've had several over the last 5 years. I'll let you figure out what those been. That says, look, we have to come together as one unit to be able to address issues as these when they appear, and not get caught up on issues that are divisive and that are potentially lulling people to sleep, wake, so that we can address the issues. And it's going to be, I can't wait till the Olympics start. I can I get a chance to see what human dedication looks like. I get to see how people accept defeat with grace. I get to see how people who are underdogs become winners. I see how teams come together, how people from different countries come together and realize, we're all the same. We all want the same thing. We all want a good life, good education, have some fun, address problems. And watch the clock. Hopefully we get a long time on the clock. Because you never know, right? You think about this, sadly for the fireman who was 50 years old, who lost his life, he had no idea the clock was going to stop last Saturday. I mean, that's sad. But it's a reminder that says, hey, we want to stay informed and we want to be up to date, but we don't want to get deluded or get lulled to sleep by all of the rhetoric, and we miss the real issues. We miss the real opportunities. And right now, opportunities are abound.
Right. Yes. And I want America, and I want for America the reminder that we are one, that we are in this together, that truly in our country, wow, and I'm about to steal a QAnon phrase, where goes one, goes all. And I want to twist that phrase from what they thought it was to something a bit more meaningful for those with a conscience, for those with that, we all have consciousness, and not everybody pays attention to being conscious. And I want to wake people up to the fact that we are at that tipping point. And I think there's enough people in America today that if we all get on these calls, if everybody that it claims to be a new thoughter, if everybody in the country that believes in a sense of positivity, if everybody in the country that calls themselves a liberal just spends 3 minutes a day being in a prayerful contemplation of these phone calls of this 100-day raising of consciousness, we really can move the bullet. We really can change the apparent outcome of what's happening in our election right now. I really think if new thoughters, if possible, possibility thinking, if positivity thinkers, if we all stay home and sit on our thumbs, that's a vote for Trump. And we're going to end up with a dictator in office.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying vote here or vote there, and I'm not telling you who to not vote for. But what I'm saying is if you vote with your consciousness, I'm good with that.
Right.
And I don't think there's any better way to raise our consciousness than collective shared practice. And that's what this is. And if we put 1,000 people a day on these calls, or 10,000 people a day on these calls, or 100,000 a day, if we get 100,000 people a day listening to these phone calls, we're going to create our own little breakdown of the internet. We're going to cause our own little, it will be impossible to ignore the energetic vibration that is raised. It will be impossible to ignore the tide of consciousness that is being demonstrated in our political system. I can't think of anything more important right now, Z, than having people sign up for this program. And it's free, and it doesn't take anything.
Right. I mean, we have to get to the point, I believe, where at a minimum, people need to be made aware. Because as quiet as it's kept, there are some people who have just totally checked out of events that are going on around them for various reasons. Some of them are as dire, and I say dire, because their focus is on trying to get food, clothing, and shelter. They don't have time to get involved in, or at least it appears that way to them. Right. They don't have time to get involved with those things because I need to feed my children. I need to make sure they have a place to stay. And that means I may be working 2-3 jobs. I ain't got time to sit down and watch no TV. Or check into no podcast. I got to get this thing done. I got to drop the kid off. I got to go to work. I got to make arrangements for somebody to pick the kid up. I got to come home, fix dinner, put him to school, put him to bed, help with homework, so forth and so on. So, but we have to figure out a way. If we know someone that might be in that situation, or it might be us, hopefully we have friends and family and relatives and acquaintances that say, look, let me keep you informed. Let me tell you what's going on. I mean, if there's ever been a time for community, whether it's local or global, and preferably both, now is the time. We have to form a community. And as you know, if you've been a part of a community, right, there's always people in the community that, might not quite like, but they're part of the community. and that means you have to deal with it. I mean, if you go to a family reunion, there's always Uncle so-and-so or cousin so-and-so who always come to the family reunion and cut up.
Yep.
Right.
I've got a sticker that says, y'all means all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. Y'all means all. And when we say that we live in a state of oneness, where we say deeply we are one, the truth is that means all of us.
Yep.
Even those of various colors, and even the orange man, and even those I don't agree with, and even those I don't like. Y'all means y'all, and we're all in this together. We're all trying to figure out our way through what we're experiencing, and we have to be in that place of y'all. So, and folks, in case you didn't catch the beginning of our show, one of the things we're talking about here today is a new program that is being put together by Reverend Dr. David Alexander and the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. Tune out the fear, tune in the vision. 100 days of mindfulness practice leading up to our next election here in the United States. Just simply text the word join to the phone number on your screen, 470-784-0250. That's 487-784-0250. Text the word join and get in and join us. You'll get an automated phone call each morning, no more than 3 minutes long, with a message based on a various principle and how we can enact that in our lives for the upcoming election. It all starts July 28th. Of course, you can always sign up late, but why would you want to be late to a party like this? Because this is how we change the world. This is how we change, I believe, the course of American politics. And we've got an interloper that slipped in the back door of the studio, the host of our Friday evening fireside chat with Reverend Michael Mangus, who I've been hanging out with all week. And you've been sitting here checking in and listening in. Michael, what do you think about what we're sharing here this morning?
Well, first of all, I've just checked my airline ticket. I've checked my bank account. Both seem to be holding. So,
Good.
That's good. That is good. But I agree. I think that, one major catastrophe and, all the systems can shut down. So again, I think that, being here this week at Unity Village has been very good for me, and also that we do have a vital message in New Thought to get out there. And one of the ways that we're getting it out there is through this network, through New Thought Media Network. So, and it was nice, and you shared with me when Reverend Jim Blake, who's the CEO of Unity Worldwide Ministries, is that it was nice that he acknowledged New Thought Media Network during his talk. So we're making a difference in the world. And again, that's why I tell everyone, please share this network. Please, as you were talking, I went ahead and joined the text message. It's that simple. All you have to do is dial in a number and then go ahead and put join it. So.
And you bring up a great reminder. Like, no one, I hadn't thought to go check my bank account, right? So to have this little phone call to remind you that, hey, go check things. Get in the practice of being grateful. Log in every morning and check your bank account, if you will. Whether that's your physical, your mental, emotional, or spiritual bank account. Check them out every day, because we're going to need all hands on deck, regardless to which party gets in the office, right? I mean, we didn't talk about the Democratic issues that are going on right now.
Right.
But there's things going on over on that side of the fence. I mean, we've done this. I'll leave that alone. But you bring up a great point, Michael, in that we have to be awake. We got to wake up. We cannot be friggin' sleep. And then you, like a lot of people this morning, we went to sleep, we woke up, and you can't log into your computer. Or you woke up and you thought you were going to do something, and you got the blue screen of death. It's too late now. Maybe had you cut your computer off last night or unconnected from the network, who knows? But we have to be awake to address the problems and issues and celebrate the joys and successes that we experience in this life. And if we don't, oh, Lord have mercy, as they say in the country.
Well, yeah, because let's follow your analogy here, Z, for a minute. If you don't, you could wake up on January 20th, 2025, and no longer have access to health care. You could wake up on January 30th, 2025, and recognize that that Social Security has been abolished, or that all the regulations on nuclear energy have been removed, or the the downside to staying asleep right now truly is catastrophic, I believe, for the evolution of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say encourage everyone to register to vote, encourage everyone to check your registration to make sure that the place to deal with it, as far as with your registration being canceled, is not at the polling booth.
Right.
Take it from somebody who has worked that. It's not to get into the argument with the election workers. It's go on your computer, do your homework, make sure you're registered, and then go out there and vote, vote, vote. If you don't think elections have consequences, again, take a look at what's happened here on the Supreme Court. The 2016 election has put us in an interesting dilemma right now with the Supreme Court. Elections matter. Vote your values. That's what I'm saying to all of my people. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but vote your values, your spiritual values. What candidate represents feeding the poor? What candidate is more connected to helping families? The elderly. Who does that? Who's the best candidate for that? So, I mean, again, I have my opinion, but again, listen to my show on Friday evenings. You know that I have an opinion, but I never tell people how to vote, though, because again, that's up to you. And so, but go out there and vote. So,
yes. I like to say vote early, and I wish I could say vote often, but I can't say that second part. So vote early, vote your consciousness, get signed up on this program, and join us for 100 days. 100 days of raising our consciousness and 100 days of starting the day off right, because I mean that's it's so important that we're going to start the 100 days. The first day, Michael Beckwith will be talking about vision, and we're going to talk about love, and we're going to talk about generosity, and we're going to talk about forgiveness. And I know these sound like basic principles, but when I start my day with that principle, when I start my day with that reminder, it's a lot easier to make it through the day and live my principles and live this philosophy than to get swept up in the, oh my God, did you hear what happened? They tried this, or oh my God, did you hear what he said or she said, or oh my God, why do we have such idiots running the country? Oh wait, I'm sorry, I didn't say that out loud, did I? All those things. We need to practice what we preach, and in the next 100 days, or just a little more than 100 days, but we've got just over 100 days till this election. Let's get out the consciousness and get out the vote. Folks, we've about run out of time, but I want to thank you for being with us here today. We just heard from Michael and myself. Let's give Z one more minute to wrap up for the day, and then we're going to get out of here.
Well, I'll be short and sweet. Wake up. Get involved, get involved, get involved. However you see fit, wherever you think you can contribute to the good of the global community, do that. And a lot of things will, don't pick sides. Look at something that's really needed and get involved. Homeless, education, find your passion in that way and get involved.
Yes. I don't think any of us are going to say it any better. And we're already out of time. So we're going to get out of here, folks. Thanks for being with us. Please stay tuned to New Thought Media Network throughout the day. We've got a great day and a great lineup of programming in store for you, including later today, the good news at 5 and at 6 o'clock. Reverend Michael with the Fireside Chat, where he takes a deeper dive into many of the stories we've been talking about and others as well. And Rev Z and I will be back with more of this program next week. And remember, Saturday mornings, it's the Science of Mind and Spirit Conversation Series, happens at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Until next time, we want to wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.
And thanks for listening to this week's episode of Ministers Talking. We'll be back again next week with more commentary on current affairs, world events, and any other our ministers want to talk about. And if you found value here, please share our with your friends. Until next time, peace and blessings.